and they got Robert Saleh. Here's what I'm hearing about Robert Saleh. It sounds like, from what I'm hearing, he is the guy that Tom Brady and the Raiders want. Now, they haven't fired Pete Carroll yet. I'm guessing they're going to fire Pete Carroll. I mean, he was supposed to bring a quick turnaround. He's 75 years old or something. I don't think you want to go the slow rebuild with him. No offense. But if you want a similar coach, younger coach with a similar philosophy, it's Robert Saleh. So Saleh's going to have make up his mind. I wouldn't be surprised if other teams wanted him too. But the Raiders are going to make a big push. And if Tom Brady's the one calling you up, having lunch with you, that could be tough to say no to Tom Brady. I mean, it's heady, I would imagine, having the greatest player of all time recruit you. Here's the thing, though. Here's what we know about Tom Brady as an executive. In his first go-round, he wanted Pete Carroll. That was a mistake. Now, he did want Ben Johnson. That was not a mistake. He wasn't going to get Ben Johnson. He wasn't going to get Matthew Stafford. That was his vision. So he settled for Pete Carroll and Geno Smith. That was a big fucking mistake. Chip Kelly and Geno Smith. I mean, damn, I wouldn't have done that bad. I might have brought in Kellen Mond, but not Geno Smith. But what he did was he hired the OC. And that, to me, is like a sin. You don't get to hire the offensive coordinator. The coach hires the offensive coordinator because the offensive coordinator has to report to the head coach, not to you, Tom. There has to be a clear chain of command. And with the Raiders this year, there wasn't. So I would be very concerned for Saleh that Brady wants to do the same thing. That he wants to hire Saleh, but then not let Saleh hire an offensive coordinator because he was over 2 hiring offensive coordinators with the Jets. I could see Brady, who, kind of seems like he thinks he's always right and knows what he's doing even when he doesn't, hiring the offensive coordinator. So, Robert, if you're watching, I would not take the job with the Raiders. I think that would be a big mistake. Now, I've never been a head coach. I don't know what I'm talking about, but they're a really bad organization. And chances are you're going to have an offensive coordinator picked for you. Maybe that's good. Maybe you don't know good offensive coordinators, but I wouldn't like it. If I were you, I'd be bringing Clay Kubiak with me, and I'd be bringing Mac Jones with me. And if that's not what Tom Brady wants to do, then you say, you know what, Tom, good luck with the Raiders. That team fucking sucks, by the way. That organization is terrible. And let me just say something as an Oakland resident, someone who's from Oakland. I never rooted for that team. I mean, I was a Niner fan when I was 6 because they won the Super Bowl when I was in first grade. First grade? First grade. And the Raiders came home when I was in second grade, so it was over at that point. But I feel like Las Vegas poached both of our fucking teams, the A's and the Raiders, because they thought Oakland was the problem. That these organizations were like top-tier professional franchises and that our town didn't appreciate them, wasn't supporting them. No, our town kicks ass. And we're like one of the best sports towns in America. It's just that those teams aren't worth supporting. And we figured that out 20 years ago. The A's and the Raiders, why would you give money to them? I wouldn't even give my attention to them. But Vegas gave them hundreds of millions of dollars, built billion-dollar stadiums for them, and guess what? They still suck. Enjoy the Raiders experience. You thought they were going to be good? Because you got Mark Davis and a stadium and Tom Brady. Now, all you have is the same shit minus fans. You have the same awful organization, good dome for the other team's fans, no home field advantage, and that's what you're going to have for the A's too. I love that. The A's are always like, we would spend money. It's just not for Oakland. No, you're never going to spend money, and I hate you. Las Vegas, go away. K9er209 says, need to extend Eddie P. ASAP, man, is clutch. I don't know, man. He kicked the ball out of bounds. Yeah, he's good, though. Let's see how he finishes the season. Hog20 says, hard to be too excited about beating boo-boo teams. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, they couldn't even put him away. But, yeah, they might win the Super Bowl. LA Blue 4976 says, if by chance we win the Super Bowl, would BA get a ring? I'm thinking yes. It was interesting. Kyle's like, I haven't talked to him in a month. He hasn't been here in a month. Yeah, man. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. He's gonna get. Doesn't it feel like there's been like a wink, wink, not agreement? He's gonna get his money back. Do you really think he would sacrifice all this money and say nothing if some team wasn't whispering in his ear like, "Just be quiet, man. We got you. Just be quiet." I bet that's happening. Joseph Ernberg says this team is a disgrace. First round, we lose by 50. I love your relentless negativity, man. It's definitely an inspiration. I don't see how you can feel that way after this game, but I feel you one way or another, regardless. NY Niners says D is actually one tick better with Bethune and Elliott. Zero chance to stop the run with Robinson in there. Not just runs, but like screens. So that's true. If when Tatum Bethune comes back, this defense will be better for sure. But I just want to point out that they got, destroyed with Tatum Bethune on the field when they were facing the Rams. Maybe they'll never face the Rams again. But Hexcuse says Rams are being given flags and calls. Hold on. Rams are being given flags and calls on crucial drives. It reminds me of the Chiefs. Now that the Chiefs are out, Rams are league favorites. Bad news for us. Man, stop. Would you stop? The Niners didn't get calls today? Can I just say something? Niner fans do too much complaining about other teams getting calls and complaining about injuries. Man, every team has injuries. I love you, excuse, but come on. Bill Kennedy says Saleh should be the heir apparent head coach for the Niners. If I were Robert Saleh, I'd be thinking that too. Like, yeah, I could bounce for the Raiders. But, Kyle's been here 9 years. Next year will be 10. What if he eventually wants to leave? What if after 9, 10, 11 years, he's the one that wants to go? He wants to change his scenery. Guess who would be his replacement on the Niners? Robert Saleh. He could inherit this whole franchise if he's patient. And I think, look, if he had never been a head coach before and the Raiders wanted him, fine. If he were 37 and the Raiders wanted him, he'd never been a head coach before, fine. But you've already gotten fired once. You're not going to get a third chance to be a head coach. So you got to make this one count. And the Raiders is like throwing it away because at least in my lifetime, every single guy who's coached that team has failed. Every single one. Which tells me that the issue isn't coaching, man. They could tear it down again tomorrow, hire a new general manager and a new head coach. But you know who still will be there? Mark Davis and Tom Brady. So I would pass on that one, man. Let them, and again, and you coach that team, and guess what? You have no fans. Fans matter. Home field advantage should matter, I think.